Online English Placement Test, the writing section. Writing based on reading and listening. For this task, you'll read a passage about an academic topic. A clock at the top right of your screen will tell you how much time you have to read. You should take notes in the passage while you read. The passage will then be removed, and you will listen to a lecture on the same topic. As you listen, you should also take notes. You will be able to see the reading passage again when it is time for you to write. You may use your notes to help you answer the question. You will then be asked to write a response that asks you about the relationship between the lecture to which you have just listened and the reading passage. Using information from the reading passage in the lecture, answer the question as completely as possible. Please note that this question does not ask you for your personal opinion. Your response will be judged on the quality of your writing and on the completeness and accuracy of the content. The Mississippi River, like all rivers, is in a constant state of change. Various forms of the Mississippi River have flowed through our area for more than 1,000,000 years. But the upper Mississippi River Valley, as we know it, was primarily shaped during the most recent glacial stage of the Great Ice Age, known as the Wisconsin period. The Wisconsin glaciation period started about 75,000 years ago and ended about 12,000 years ago when the North American climate began to warm. The melting of those enormous ice sheets that, at their maximum, were 5,000 to 10,000 feet thick and covered hundreds of thousands of square miles, released tremendous amounts of water, forming huge glacial lakes. The largest of the glacial lakes, Lake Agassiz, covered northwest Minnesota, parts of North Dakota, and the Canadian provinces of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Ontario. The southern discharge outlet to this lake was called Glacial River Warren, which eventually excavated the valley now occupied by the Minnesota River. The Mississippi River flows into the valley carved by the River Warren at St. Anthony Falls in Minneapolis. The St. Croix River, which drained Lake Duluth, a glacial lake that covered the western Lake Superior Basin, joined the River Warren about 30 miles downstream from the present confluence of the Mississippi and Minnesota rivers. In Wisconsin, another glacial lake drained first into what is now the Black River and later the Wisconsin River, both of which emptied into the River Warren. During the 3,000 years that River Warren carried water from these and other smaller glacial lakes, the Mississippi River Valley was carved bluff to bluff, and the resulting valley was approximately 250 feet deeper than it is today. However, there is also evidence that the main valley is much older than the River Warren and underwent several cycles of cutting and filling during the Great Ice Age. Even though the coulee country escaped the land leveling effect of the ice mass, the glaciers left their mark by carving the spectacular Mississippi River that cuts through the heart of this area with the torrents of water draining from the melting ice mass. With the demise of the glacial lakes, the tremendous flow of water was diminished, and the Mississippi River became the most important stream in the area. The many tributaries continued to bring in sand and gravel into the wide, deep valley of the Mississippi that the river could no longer carry away. Consequently, the sediment began to fill in the recently scoured river valley. At each point where major tributaries joined the Mississippi River, natural sediment dams eventually built up to pond the upstream portion of the river, forming a natural river lake. The largest is Lake Pepin, which at one time extended all the way to St. Paul, Minnesota. Read the question below. Use the remaining time indicated to plan and write your response. Your response will be judged on the quality of your writing, as well as how well your response presents the points in the lecture and the relationship to the reading passage. Typically, an effective response consists of 150 to 225 words. How does the information in the listening passage supplement the information in the reading passage?